Tio Hardiman is the executive director for Violence Interrupters. And Gail, I know you're trying to get a newscast together, but I want you in on this because you brought us the story as well. New violence intervention hotline going up for Labor Day weekend as Tio joins us now. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. It's an honor to be here with you.
Well, I appreciate you being on, and I appreciate the work you've done. We haven't talked in a long time, but I think you know I'm a fan.
Yes, indeed.
And thank you for being here. Nick, first question.
Well, Tio, what was the inspiration here behind this this hotline that you guys are putting together? I say that knowing that we're going into a long, hot weekend, and unfortunately, we know what happens in the city when it's a long, hot weekend.
Well, the inspiration is right here. What happens, a lot of people find themselves involved in conflicts, and they don't have nobody they could call or somebody they could trust to talk about it. So the main goal here is to try to prevent shootings on the front end by mediating the conflict. The people would call. All the calls are confidential, and we have a lot of experience mediating conflicts, saving lives. For example, the Violence Interrupters have mediated 40 to 50 conflicts this year that could have turned deadly, but we worked it out with, the different parties, right? Then also I added a domestic violence, like hotline to this particular number as well, whereas if a woman's involved in a domestic violence situation and she wants to be removed, she can call us as well, and we'll step up and try to get the lady out of that situation.
So you got a kid that maybe he's gangbanging, maybe he's not, or maybe he's overheard something on social media. I mean, anybody can call, right?
Yeah, anybody can call, yes, indeed.
All right, so if they hear something on social media, they call and they say, I think something's going down in this neighborhood or at this block. What happens then?
Well, we get involved with it. We find out who the individuals involved in the conflict, and we go out and talk to them. We bring them to the table and work it out, resolve the conflict. That's what it's all about. We have relationships with the young guys on the street, and they listen to us most of the time. 90% of the time, we can mediate the conflict, 90% track record there.
Talk about that for a second, Tio. This TV show movie notion that a bunch of gangbangers are running around and they want to go out and shoot people. I'm not defending anybody that pulls a trigger, but these are scared kids with no guidance, aren't they?
Well, a lot of them are scared for sure, and a lot of them do not have any guidance. We know that for a fact, but at the same time, a lot of young guys will listen as long as the mediator is the right type of credible messenger that can make sense of the madness out there. It's important to have that. See, in order to stop a killing, you have to put yourself in the mindset of a person that wants to shoot and take a life. Some of the killings are all about self-defense. Some of them are like just some people are more aggressive than others. You got psychotic fools out there running the streets, sociopaths, but you have to understand how to approach the guys from different angles if you have the history in dealing with preventing violence, okay? That's very important to have the do's and don'ts of gang mediation.
Hey, Tio, I love the hotline because it's available for anybody who might be in that situation, and it's great for them to know. And we should tell everybody the hotline number really quick, 888-568-7377. But since you know these guys on the streets that are causing harm and doing all the damage, do you ever know in advance when there might be some sort of something planned? And I don't know how they planned, killings and murders, and I'm going to go do this or that. But is there any tip that you have ahead of time?
Yeah, I receive phone calls from family members. For example, a young lady called me. Her two sons were in the bedroom loading up their guns to go and retaliate and shoot a guy down the street. And she called me, and I got 4 or 5 of my guys to meet me on the block over there. And we got a chance to talk to both sides, and we were able to successfully resolve the conflict. So, yeah, we receive phone calls from all kinds of school teachers. We're working in some of the schools throughout Chicago as well. And the young guys on the streets that do not want to lose their lives, they call us as well. We receive a lot of calls. I call it intercepting whispers on the streets. That's what I call it.
Tio, you guys have been at this for a while now with the Violence Interrupters.
Yeah.
When you've got a call just like the one you got, I mean, and you've been around a while, you know how to deal with this. But do you ever find yourself in a situation where you're like, man, I don't know if I should be here?
Blessed are the peacemakers, let me be honest with you.
Right.
And hear me clearly on this. If a person tells you they're out there stopping violence, that they have never been threatened or never been confronted, they're not telling the truth. You're not going to go out into the concrete jungle talking all that good talk, everything is cool. It doesn't work that way. Yes, my life has been threatened a couple of times. I've had staff years ago. One of my staff members got shot in the neck. Another staff got shot in the leg. This work is not for the faint at heart. do not try this at home. But, we have a track record, and we're sincere about saving lives. We also removed 5 women from domestic violence situations. That's not a big number, but it's a solid number. We got the young ladies out of those situations.
That's potentially saving 5 lives, and you certainly saved them that night.
Yes. And that's what I'm talking about. So we've been doing the work for a while, but we have a track record, and it's based on, it's a public health approach. My book should be out at the end of September. It's titled Interrupting Gun Violence, the Public Health Model.
Well, why don't you come back on and talk about it when you're ready to roll?
I'd appreciate it very much.
Yeah. All right. So I don't think people know. How'd you get into this line?
Well, my birthday is September 21st. I was born on the International Day of Peace. That's what I can say that. But all my life, I grew up in the Henry Horner Projects in the Avalon Park community on the South Side. So I've been like a big brother to young guys in the community throughout my entire life. A go-to person, a guy that young guys are go-to, because I have relationships with a lot of the gang leaders in Chicago. I have relationships with a lot of the tough guys, and they listen to me for some reason, right? So that's why I got involved in the work, and I got tired of seeing young people lose their lives. And if I can just be like a big brother, that's just part of, I think I was born to do this kind of work. I was anointed, in other words.
Are there enough people like you out there? I know the church, and by the way, not every church, but a lot of church leaders are trying to do the right thing, trying to be out there in the middle of it and putting themselves at risk as well.
Yeah, you have a lot of organizations out there working hard. Metropolitan Family Services, Chicago Cred. You got ECCSC. That's this young man by the name of Tyrone Mohammed. Then you have a lot of organizations. You have the Institute of Peace on the west side of Chicago. There's so many organizations, I cannot name them all, but, you have people stepping up doing the best they can.
Appreciate your time. Appreciate your time. What's the phone number again?
Okay, it's 888-568-7377, and together we can win.
And how do we help you? If folks want to help you, what do they do?
They can, visit my website at violentinterrupters.org. violentinterrupters.org, and it's a whole lot of information on my website that they can find out more about what we're doing.
All right, let me know when the book's out.
Tio, that's great. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
It's Tio Hardiman. So how about you? You're on a Saturday night, suddenly your phone rings. Looks like there's some gang activity going down. You going to hop in your car, drive over, get in the middle of it?
Oh.
I mean, it takes a lot to be able to do that.
It's amazing, really.
It is.
Yeah, and the other thing too is they train in certain areas on how to work with this gun violence, and I mean it's a great organization and it's great what he's doing, and they also call him Mr. Ceasefire.
And the credibility part of it's a huge deal.
Yeah,
you can't not just anybody can roll up on that, and certainly not just any cop can roll up on that, because if you're a kid, you go, you don't know my life, you don't know what I saw, you don't know what I heard. And you don't know what to believe, whether the social media is true or the text I got is true or somebody told me something that's true. You're about to pull the trigger and change your life and the life of somebody else, and he gets in the middle of it and maybe stops it. I think a big thank you'd be in order. And speaking of that, don't light me up on this, man. But once again, Pastor Corey Brooks, there's a guy in the middle of Inglewood who a month ago was giving away car seats and diapers and everything else to single moms, and I didn't see. I was there. I didn't see one single Democrat leader in this town standing up for Pastor Corey Brooks. So, again, tell me, Mayor, tell me, Governor, tell me, Cook County Board President, how you care about kids when Corey Brooks, as a avowed Republican who doesn't go around spouting his political beliefs, but doesn't shy away from the fact that he's Republican, is that why you won't support what he's doing? Is that why you weren't there that day? Shame on you. And the media, too, that wasn't out there to cover it. So, yeah, I'm telling you, less talk, more action. How about that?